people think they own the land. You don't own the land. You're a steward of the land. And you know, these Indians may have thought they owned it, or at least they occupied it and controlled it. And they came and went, and then actually English came in here as I remember it first, and then there was Spanish came up from Florida. But the land itself, you know, you're a temporary occupier, and to appreciate the land, you have to understand that it survives. There's some kind of sense of security. It's a sanctuary of sorts because it endures, and if it's been in the family, that adds to your sense of belonging. But my granddaddy loved the land, my daddy loved the land, my brother that passed loved the land, but they only occupied it while they were alive, you know, so the land stays and we come and go. So the idea that the land is yours is kind of misleading. I think trees are more durable than human beings. They'll do anything to live. They'll grow sideways to get to the sun to live, and they come and go, and but I have a great appreciation for all the trees. This particular stand of pines is about 13 acres, and they are longleaf pines. These are 16 years old, so they were planted in right at the end of 2000 or the first of 2000. I actually planted them before I retired. My brother and I had planted this particular section of land with slash one time, and they just did not take, and turned it back into row crops. We had watermelons on this property and had cotton over here, and we decided to get out of that type business, and this was actually a conservation program I got into that government supported the planting. There's only a couple of original old longleaf stands in the country. It's one around Tallahassee and some in Alabama. They're beautiful. I love to walk in them. We had a cabin built in 2004, so it's 12 years old now. A local guy built it. There was no contract. It was I drew the plans out on a piece of poster board, and he built it from that. We shook hands on the price. I think it was going to be $62,000 or $63,000. I gave him $30,000 to get started, and I borrowed the money off of a line of credit on the condo. But we've got right at 1,500 square feet. We got a fireplace. We got about 300 square feet upstairs, or 250, and about 1,250 downstairs. And we got a front porch and a back porch, a lot of rocking chairs. The flooring in the living area is heart pine that came out of my grandfather's house. He built it in 1915, so the floor is over 100 years old now. The wood in the floors is over 100 years old. The bricks around the fireplace here were bricks that he had around the fireplace in his house. And the mantel is made out of wood that came out of his house. This land was originally part of John Holt's estate. John Holt was my daddy's mother's father. She was a Holt, and he owned a tremendous amount of land through here. This particular spot was 70 acres, on the deed 70 more or less, and my Uncle Wendell inherited it when Grandmother died. Grandmama died, I think, in 75 probably, and Uncle Wendell lived in California. He inherited it, and I wanted to buy it from him, so he sold it to me. I paid him $5,000 down, which I borrowed from the man I was working for in Marietta, and then I paid him $100 a month. I think he charged me either $250 an acre or $350 an acre. Anyway, I ended up owing him about $17,500. Then Ronnie wanted to buy into it, so I sold Ronnie half interest, and so Ronnie and I paid Wendell $50 each a month for however long it took to pay off the $12,500 we owed him. And I don't remember how I paid Gordon Hoffman back the $5,000. I guess Ronnie ended up paying half of that. And then actually when we had this land surveyed, it wasn't, well, it was 70 more or less, but it was less. There was actually only 60 acres to it. And we had it, I guess, from 73 up until close to 2000. And Ronnie needed to sell half of his share of it so he could buy property in Cordell to build a house. So he sold half, and I kept half, and what I wanted was a little more than a half, so I had to bargain with the man that bought the other part, and I ended up with right at 33 acres in here. We always referred to this particular piece of property as Grandmama's farm. It was in her daddy's estate. My granddaddy bought the land from her father's estate. I don't know what he paid for it, but she didn't inherit it. He paid for the land, and we always referred to it as Grandmama's farm. So we knew about it. We used to come over here and hunt rabbits at night and hunt squirrels on the creek. Granddaddy had cows over here for a while, but it was, he had 3 separate pieces of property. This was the least visited of the 3. The land gives you a chance to reflect on life. It's so much peace can be found out in the woods by yourself and walking in the timber or walking on the creek.
I want to tell you of a little country home. It is made of poplar logs up on the hill.